to show you something crazy that the Pope said back in 2014. And I can't wait until some of these people comment on this video and try to justify what he said, because you biblically just can't do it. God is not a magician with a magic wand, says the Pope. Okay, that's not too bad, but just listen. Now this is what the Pope said. We run the risk, like it's a bad thing, of imagining God was a magician with a magic wand able to do everything, but that is not so. What? Last time I checked, God is omniscient. The Pope cannot limit God's power.
I hate to break it to this guy, but the Pope is correct. God cannot do anything and everything, because that comes back to the atheist argument that they give us. Can God create a rock so heavy that he himself can't lift it? Or can God create a burrito so hot that he himself can't eat it? And of course, this is silly and nonsensical, but the reality is, could God create a rock so heavy that even he can't lift it? If he can't create a rock that heavy, then he can't do everything. And if he can create a rock that heavy, but he can't lift it, then he still can't do everything. So we don't say that God can do everything because he can't create evil. He himself can't be evil. He can't make himself evil. God can do everything logically possible, but he can't do everything. Not to mention that this guy was just taking the Pope out of context and missing the point of what the Pope was actually saying. He was talking about evolution and the Big Bang and science, and how God didn't just wave a wand and make everything, that he created everything out of love, and it was done by his design. So he is just trying to take a pot shot at the church, and he himself is mistaken, because God can only do everything that is logically possible, not everything, because that would lead to a lot of contradiction. William 123 wanted someone to explain this to him, so we would be happy to do it. Here's what he doesn't understand. Jesus was condemning the scribes and Pharisees who had become such corrupt leaders that they usurped the place of God, and they didn't want people following God anymore. They wanted the praise all for themselves, and they widened their phylacteries, and they lengthened their robes, and they had to have the best of everything so people would praise them. That is what Jesus was condemning. Jesus never said nobody can wear a robe that is long. He never said that nobody can greet someone in the marketplace. He never said that you can't ever have the seat of honor. He was condemning the Pharisees and the Sadducees because they wanted these things, and they cared more about what people thought than what God thought. Now, he might think this is true for the Pope, but he has to prove it. You can't prove it. You can't just make assertions. Oh, look, the Pope does the same thing, so therefore the Pope is the same. No, this is ludicrous, and it's naive. Just because you read the Bible doesn't mean you understand it. Look at what the Pope has done. Unlike the Pharisees and Sadducees, who Jesus said didn't lift a finger to do anything to help anybody, the Pope himself wakes up early and serves poor people, helps those in need, visits the sick, and helps those around the world. In fact, the Catholic Church is the largest charitable organization on earth, feeding more people, helping more people, clothing more people, and doing more good than anyone else on earth with the money she has. The Pharisees did not do that, so that's a big distinction, Mr. William. Also, the Pope has had a dinner for, I think it was 150 homeless people recently, and they treated them like royalty and gave them food and drink. And even before that, they've had dinners with up to 500 homeless people in Rome, and they would treat them like royalty and shave their beards and give them showers and give them all these free things, including food and drink. And William, when was the last time you've done that? Even with the money you have, when was the last time you've brought people into your home and you showered them, all these homeless people, and you gave them money and you gave them food? You're condemning others for what you think they're doing, but you're not doing it themselves. And the Pope does more with his money than you will ever do with yours. And he's helping more people than more people around the world. So please don't condemn the Catholic Church, especially when you forget the fact that God commanded the temple in the Old Testament to be laden in gold, up and down, inside and out, the altars, the candles, and everything else. So that does not disprove God. Loving money does.
Let's go.
The This whole video is nonsense. She tries to say that abortion is racist, classist, anti-trans, and pretty much every other bigoted protection group in the country just to try to make a point, and it doesn't. Racist? Pro-lifers want to save little unborn babies from dying from every race. You guys can see how that's completely racist, right? And the Catholic Church and pro-lifers want to save little babies in the womb, little children in the womb who are in every class. So if a rich person wants to have an abortion, we're against that. And if a poor person wants to have an abortion, we're against that. Whatever class it is, we want to save the little children. You can see how that's classist, can't you? Yeah, me too. And anti-trans, sorry, I can't help but laugh. You know, you guys can see how transgender and abortion are the exact same issue, right? Or are we just trying to bring in every group that we can think of to try to make our point? The reality is she says that abortion bans are wrong, but you need to prove it. You say abortion's wrong, but you need to prove it. You didn't offer any proof. The reality is it's not wrong. And the reality is Catholics like yourself, and I mean Catholics who are for choice. That's the name of this channel, Catholics for Choice. That's an oxymoron. There's no such thing as a Catholic who supports abortion, not in good conscience. And in fact, it's one of the biggest sins against the Catholic Church. And in fact, it's one of the only sins in the Catholic Church that brings about with it an automatic excommunication. If you know abortion's wrong and you have one, you are automatically excommunicated and you are no longer a Catholic. They are incompatible. So this woman herself is wrong. And I know she thinks she's right, but there's someone else who disagrees with her. And you know who that is? God.